Good morning, students. Today we are going to further our discussion about center of mass. See, the one basic formula we have seen is center of mass coordinated can be obtained by m1 x1 plus m2 x2. This is what we have seen in our previous classes. Then we talked about velocity of center of mass. Differentiate both sides. Then you got an expression velocity of center of mass. This is coordinate of center of mass. Alright? m1 v1 plus m2 v2 divided by m1 plus m2. This is what I told you. Differentiating means rate of change of velocity only. See, velocity is what? Rate of change of displacement. If you differentiate v, you get acceleration, rate of change of velocity. So if I again differentiate this, what am I going to get? I am going to get acceleration of center of mass is equal to differentiate v1 with respect to time, you get a1. Differentiate v2 with respect to time, you get a2. Why I am not differentiating mass? Because it is constant. When you differentiate constant, see this whole term has to be differentiated. When you are differentiating, this is a constant. m2 is a constant, so it has to be brought out. So m1 a1 plus m2 a2 divided by n1 plus n2. So in any question of acceleration also, you can apply this formula and you can calculate that. Okay. So in this series, we will do one illustration. It is called Atwood machine. We will call it as Atwood machine. Don't get confused by this term Atwood and all these things. We have to solve it and get the answer. Whether it's Atwood or Backward doesn't matter. So in this, it is like this. The answer देखो. One point you have to remember is when you are writing this a1, a2, etc. When you are writing x1, x2 or v1, v2, etc. Take care of proper sign. Take care of proper sign. If one velocity is in this direction, another is in this direction, this will be minus, this will be plus. Remember that. Why? Because displacement is a vector. Displacement is a vector. Can I write the same expression, this VCM, as VCM is equal to m1 v1 vector plus m2 v2 vector? Can I write ACM is equal to ACM vector is equal to m1 a1 vector plus m2 a2 vector divided by m1 plus m2? The same applies to this also. They are vectors. They are simply not magnitudes. You have to take care of the direction also. This is very, very important point. Don't miss the directions. Alright? Now, let us say here, this is my M2 and this is my M1 mass. Obviously, M2 is, let us say M2 is greater than M1. So, no big points for guessing that this stuff will go down. Okay? Let us say this acceleration is A2 and this acceleration is A1. Alright? So, the question is, what will be the acceleration of center of mass? What will be the acceleration of center of mass? So, this whole thing is a system now. Don't see them in isolation. This whole thing is a system now. Alright? So, here, first of all, you need to observe one point that this is a single chord. We have done this constraint equations, This is a single chord. When this person is going down with certain acceleration, this point, this point, this point, this point, all are going with the same acceleration. So similarly, even this point, this point, this point, because they are connected by the common chord, they will undergo same acceleration. It is like a train, a train. A train is like this, isn't it? These are the chakka of train. Train is going like this. You cannot say that this is going with acceleration A, this is going with 2A, this is going with 3A. Then what will happen? This will collide with this dabba. So if the whole system is going with A means, if this is going with A, all connected things are going with A only. Little crude example, but kind of analogy I am trying to tell you. Alright? So here, if this is A2 is going down, let us say with A acceleration, this is going up with minus A acceleration. Okay? Because the chord is same. So can we apply this equation? We can apply. So ACM is equal to, ACM means acceleration of center of mass is equal to M1. I am calling down as positive. So this will be negative. M1A, sorry, this is M2A minus M1A divided by M1 plus M2. Alright? So we have to find this A now. Okay? Clear? Just I will stop this part. Take a screenshot. Understood the question? This setup is called Atwood machine. Anytime in the wording you see Atwood machine, this diagram you should remember. That is the purpose of drawing this. Okay? And the question is, you have this system is like this. There are two masses, M2, M1. M2 is greater than M1. This is going down, this is going up. And the question is not finding the individual accelerations. The question is, what is the acceleration of the center of mass? That is what we have to calculate. Here, M1, M2 is already known. We have to find A. Simply, there is a small formula, but I want to tell you the procedure. Alright, let us draw the free body diagram. Let us draw the free body diagram of 2 of this block. How it will look like? This is going down. There will be, if you cut it here, you will see a tension. This block is going down. We are calling it as M2A. So this M2A is what? This is the net force. So this force must be more than this. That is why it is going down. So our equation will be M2G minus T is equal to M2A. Right? So this is my equation 1. Now draw the free body diagram of 1. So free body diagram of 1. Here weight is acting downward, tension acting upward, but this system is going upward. Put a double arrow. Put a double arrow so that this some identification. So this acceleration is going upward. So this force must be more. So it will be T minus M1G is equal to M1A. Why did I put M1A? Because the force is acted upon M1 mass. Here the force is acting upon M2 mass. And what are we trying to find out? We are trying to find out this acceleration value. So can I get this acceleration value here? I need to eliminate T. I need to eliminate T. So if I have to eliminate T, add these two equations, T will be cancelled out. So 1 plus 2. What are you going to get? M2 minus M1G is equal to M1A. Sorry, we need to add this also, no? So it will be M1 plus M2A. It will be M1 plus M2A. So what is A now? It is M2 minus M1 divided by M1 plus M2 multiplied by G. Remember this equation, it is very, very useful. Alright? Once you got the value of A, you can put it over here, you can find the acceleration of center of mass. Take a screenshot and we'll do a small numerical to close this. Alright? Alright. A simple example, simple illustration. the acceleration of center of mass. Alright? So we have just seen that acceleration of center of mass is m2 minus m1 by m1 plus m2 multiplied by a. And what was a? m2 minus m1 divided by m1 plus m2, and a was m2 minus m1 by m1 plus m2 multiplied by g. Don't forget this g. Okay? So what are you going to get? This will become square. So we can directly put the value here. 4 minus 2 whole square by 4 plus 2 whole square into 10. 4 minus 2, 2 square 4. 4 plus 2, 6, 6 square 36 into 10. So it is 40 by 36 or 10 by 9 meters second power minus 2. Either you remember the formula, or you remember the procedure, or you remember both, or you can forget both if you don't want marks. Very simple. Okay? Write it down. Let me use this dusting. Alright. Let us see some more concepts. Now this question has come in J 2007. So this simple question has come in J 2007. Two bodies of masses 6 kg and 4 kg have their velocities. Here vectors are given to you. Alright? And then what is the velocity of center of mass? Simple. So here we have seen velocity vector of center of mass is equal to m1 v1 vector plus m2 v2 vector divided by m1 plus m2. m1 m2 are just scalar things, they don't have any direction. They are just masses. Okay? Weight is not a scalar, it is a vector. So here VCM will be equal to, VCM vector will be equal to m1, it is 6 into 5i minus 2j plus 10k plus, it is, the second mass is 4 kg, 4 into 10i minus 2j plus 5k divided by 6 plus 4, it is 10. Let's simplify that. So VCM vector is equal to, I am doing directly, 6 into 5, 30, take the I, 30i, 40i, 70i. Okay? I cap. 6 into minus 2, minus 12, minus 12, 4 into minus 2, minus 8, minus 12, minus 8, minus 20. J cap. 6 into 10, 60, 4 into 5, 20, 60 plus 20, 80. 80 k cap divided by 10. So what is our vector? It is 7i minus 2j plus 8k. This is our vector in the vector format. Suppose in the question they have asked you what is the magnitude. What is the magnitude of the force, the velocity? It would have been root over 7 square plus minus 2 whole square plus 8 square. 7 square is 49, 49 plus 4, 53 plus 64, 57, 117. These days I am making some silly stupid mistakes in calculation. One student is regularly showing that, very good. It shows your attentiveness. But the main idea is you should catch the concept behind it. Okay? So make a note of this. Alright, let us move on to another illustration. Yeah, another illustration. A building height is given. The building height is 30 meters. Alright, and there are two masses. Let us say one mass is here, one mass is here. The mass on the top is given as alright. So here the mass is 2 kg and here the mass is 4 kg. Alright. Now this mass has been simply dropped like this from this height, and this mass has been projected with thrown vertically up like this, vertically up, 15 meters per second. Now the question is, what is the speed attained by the center of mass of the system? Alright, you see here, this mass is falling individually. Now this is also going individually. In दोनों के बीच में no connection. But here the question asked is, what is the speed of the center of mass of the system? Both masses should be considered as a system in this case. Okay, the both masses should be considered as a single system in this case. So suppose there are two masses and you say that one may be going this way, another may be going this way. So what is the motion of the center of mass is asked. They can be vertically up and down also. This may be coming like this, this may be going like this. इसको ऐसे घुमा करके देखो, ये देखिए ना. Okay? How the center of mass? What is the center of mass speed? First of all, where is the center of mass location? Okay? So we will take this line as the reference. Okay? Where is the center of mass location? What is the question here? You have to find out velocity of center of mass, how much. Okay? So first we have to find out where is the center of mass. So for finding out where is the center of mass, we need to take a reference line. So we are going to take this as the reference line. So straight away put the formula m1 x1. Let us call this as m1. This is as m2. Okay? m1 x1. x1 इसका center of mass इधर ही होगा, so it is 4 into 0 plus 2 into इसका center of mass, it will be at 30 meter height initially. Alright, so it is 2 into 30 divided by 4 plus 2. So it is 2 into 30 is how much? 60. 60 divided by 6, it is 10 meter. So their center of mass location is somewhere here. This height is 10 meter, let us say. Okay, this height is 10 meters. Now, can you find out the initial speeds? You can find out the initial speeds of the center of mass. We will call this as initial speeds as UCM. Okay, so UCM will be what? M1 U1, where U indicates the initial speed, and M2 U2 divided by M1 plus M2 only. Alright, so we are calling this as M1. So 4 into what is the speed here? 15 meter per second is the initial speed. So 15. This fellow was initially at rest. This 2 kg mass was at rest. This is at rest. So it is 2 into 0 divided by 6. So 15 into 4, 60 divided by 6, it is 10 meter per second. You got a positive value, that means it is something like this. Alright? Now, the question asked is, what is the speed of center of mass? So obviously the speed of the center of mass means the final speed of center of mass. Okay? So this is what is? This is the speed of center of mass. Suppose in the same question they ask you like what is the maximum height attained by the center of mass? See, two things you have to calculate. Initially we have calculated the displacement. Alright? We have calculated the speed of center of mass. Alright? Now, suppose I ask you what is the height attained by the center of mass. How to find out that? What is the height equation? Height attained by center of mass, can I write it as u square cm by 2g. This is what we have seen in that kinematics. Okay? This is what, how we have got this. Suppose there is an object here, it has been thrown up. So here velocity is how much? U is equal to u. Here final velocity is equal to 0. It has been thrown up. So acceleration acting downward. A is equal to minus g. You can apply v square minus u square is equal to 2as. V square is equal to 0. This is u square is equal to a के बदले में minus g. So 2 minus g. What is this s? The height attained. I will call this as h. So h will be u square by 2g. This is what I have used here. Okay. Suppose in the same question they ask you what is the maximum height attained by the center of mass, means we have to write here u h of cm is equal to u square cm. Cm means center of mass divided by 2g. So what is the speed we have calculated? It is 10. So it is 10 square by 10 into 10. 2 into 10. 100 by 20, it is 5 meter. So this system center of mass which is at 10 meter height, it will attain how much height? Maximum 5 meters. 5 meters is the maximum height attained for this particular condition. For this particular condition. Okay. So here they have asked you the velocity of center of mass. You can calculate directly this one. Just I have calculated the center of mass, centroid, where it is located, the location, so that you get an idea. It is here. Okay. So write down all this. This is a very useful derivation, you should remember. Okay. You should always remember that when initial speed is given to you, u square by 2g is the maximum height. Any object, initial speed u is given to you, the maximum, when you try to throw it up, the maximum height that the object will go will be u square by 2g. Many times we use this portion. You please remember this. It's a very useful thing. Okay. I have shown the derivation also so that you understand how you have got it. All right. Let us see another illustration, or we move to another concept now. Move to another concept. We move to another concept now. Now, when we talk about center of mass, let us know first a concept. Suppose there is a train. There is a force applied here. Alright? There is a force applied here. And these trains are connected with some cords, strings, or between bogie to bogie. So when this force is pulling the train, it is pulling the entire train. This bogie and this bogie are connected. Obviously, there will be equal and opposite force created like this. Alright? Let us say this is a cord, which is when you are pulling it, so there is a tension in this cord, and this tension will be like how much? Like how it will be? It will be equal and opposite. It will be equal and opposite. Alright. Now this F is the external force. Remember this. Okay. This is an external force. And what are these forces? These are internal forces. These are internal forces. Okay? This is one example. We have seen the cardboard machine and all that, you know. Right? 4 kg going down. This is 4 kg. So obviously the situation is like this. This was 4 kg, this was 2 kg. Isn't it? The previous example. So this weight is acting downward. If you took a free body diagram here, you have drawn here a tension. How that, if you see the whole system, this tension will be equal opposite. This tension will be equal opposite. Isn't it? So this is internal force. And this is external force. This is external force. Now internal force, you can see they are action-reaction pair. They are action-reaction pair. And they cancel out each other. They are cancelling out each other, you see here. Whereas external force is not like that. This force is not cancelling out with anything, isn't it? So external force isn't cancelling it out, but the internal force is action-reaction pair when you see the whole system. So this is a very important point. Okay. Now you see here. Suppose there is a car. Okay. And there is a force applied to the car. What will happen? The car from this position, it will come over here. Isn't it? So the center of mass was here, the center of mass, now it is here. If I take this as the reference line, isn't it? So what is happening? The center of mass is moving. Moving because of which? Only external force. Very important point I am telling you. Internal force has no role in the movement of center of mass. Internal force has no role in the movement of center of mass. Remember this very important point. Only external force is making it move. Internal force, no. Internal force is not moving the center of mass. External force only is moving the center of mass. Okay? So this is one very important concept. You should remember this. Alright. And let us see one more concept in this. Now see here. This center of mass moved from here to here. There are two types of motion. Another two type of motion. Let us just define it. One is called translatory motion. Another is called rotational motion. Rotational motion. Remember these two. Okay? There are two types of motions. Suppose there is a car here. The car moves from this place to this place. Okay? This is an example of translatory motion. This is an example of translatory motion. The fan you are seeing in your room is a rotational motion. It is a rotational motion. Circular motion, uniform circular motion. All these are rotational motions only. Okay. Now the important point is the movement of center of mass is only translatory. It is only translatory. It is never rotational. It is never rotational. It is only translatory. That means it can move in straight line. It can move in straight line. No, it's a translatory motion from one place to another place. It will not rotate about its own point. Okay. So one application of this concept is suppose there is a tire. These are all spokes. It is going down. How it is going down? It is rolling. It is rolling and moving forward. Moving forward, translatory. It is rolling and moving forward. It is rolling also. Okay. From this point A, it came to this point. So it translated from this position to this position. So it is translatory too. But the tire was rotating and coming down. It came like this, no? It came like this. It is rotating also. The important point is the center of mass from this position to this position, it only had translatory motion. It did not have rolling motion. It did not have rotatory motion. The center of mass of the system underwent only the center of mass underwent only translatory motion. Only translatory motion. Even though the system was rotating and translating. Again, I am saying there is a tire on top of a plane. It is rolling down and coming to the bottom point. So, how many types of motion involved here? It has translated from this point to this point. It also rotated and came over here. Alright? So, if you take the motion of the system, it is both translatory as well as rotatory. But when you talk about center of mass of the system, it only translated. It never underwent any rotation. This is the concept you have to remember. Okay? So we have already seen that. So that if you write in terms of F net, when you write F net is equal to, it is M into A, right? So this F net is external, isn't it? This F net is external. So when you talk about internal, F net internal is equal to 0. Okay? So you should remember this too. So the Newton's law, what we are saying, no? Second law, the force is equal to mass into acceleration. The force what we are talking about is the external force. The external force is creating that mass into acceleration. That much force is being generated. But what is the role of internal forces? If you take sigma F net, if you take the sum total of all sigma, sum of all internal forces, it will be equal to 0. I have shown you that tension equal and opposite. What is happening? That F net is equal to 0. Isn't it? It goes like this. This weight is acting downward, but this tension equal opposite. If this tension is not equal opposite, it will fall down. So, internal net force, net internal forces, sum of net internal forces is equal to 0 is also a very useful concept. Okay. Now, after here, if I am saying F net is equal to 0, that means mass into some acceleration is equal to 0. If this is 0, that means acceleration also equal to 0. Right? If F net internal is equal to 0, acceleration must be equal to 0. Because how the force is defined? Mass into some acceleration. If acceleration is equal to 0, what is the meaning of that? That velocity is constant. Velocity is constant. That means for internal forces, if you talk about the velocity is constant. Okay, velocity, if you calculate the internal thing, the velocity of the center of mass will be constant. Okay, so this is a useful result you should remember. Okay? So in here velocity is not constant, here it is not constant. In the case of external forces it is not constant, in the case of internal forces it is constant. And suppose you take a ring. Okay, you take a ring. Okay, ring. Inside everything hollow. Where is the center of mass? It is in the center. Is it in the object? Is it in that element? No. Sometimes at the center of mass location there may not be any mass. Sometimes at the center of mass location, at COM location, there need not be any mass. This is the example. Often it is asked. So this is a ring. Okay. A ring center of mass is in the center. There is no mass there. Ring means Angudi type. Okay. So this also you can make a note of. And one more last point. This is very useful. Suppose you take a system. You can see that seesaw kind of a system. Okay. Let us say there is one boy here and another boy here. This is a system. Obviously, this system will have some center of mass. The system, there is boy 1 is there, there is another boy 2 is there. This is a system. This system will have some center of mass. Let us say that is this. So the moment about the sigma value, the moment about center of mass equal to 0. This is a very useful condition you can apply for cracking many questions. Okay, I have taken a simple example. It is a seesaw type of a thing. What is a seesaw? It is a system consisting of a rod and 2 boys are sitting over there and all that. So this system will have some center of mass. So what is the condition you can apply? The moment about center of mass is equal to 0. This condition. It's a problem. I will explain to you this concept. So this is also a very useful concept. Make a note of this concept. Some more concept we'll see in the next class. Okay then? Till then, take care. Bye bye.